The power of not reacting. Once upon a time in a peaceful town lived a young man named Adam. He was known for his calm demeanor and wise nature. Adam's life wasn't without challenges, but what set him apart was his ability to remain calm in the most stressful situations. People around him often wondered how he managed to stay so composed, especially when things around him seemed to be falling apart. One day, Adam's friend David came to him in distress. He was upset because someone had insulted him in public. His face was red with anger, and his hands were clenched in fists. David was about to go confront the person who had wronged him when Adam stopped him. "David, before you act, I want to share something with you," Adam said calmly. David, still furious, looked at him and said, "What's there to think about, Adam? I have to teach this person a lesson. They can't just disrespect me like that." Adam smiled gently. "I understand how you feel, but let me ask you this. What will your reaction bring you in the end? Will it make you feel better, or will it just add fuel to the fire?" David was silent for a moment, but his anger was still burning inside him. Adam continued, "In every situation, we have two choices: to react impulsively or to pause and think before we act. The power of not reacting is not in ignoring the situation, but in giving yourself the time to respond thoughtfully instead of reacting blindly." David was confused. But how do you remain so calm? How do you just ignore what people say or do? Adam took a deep breath and said, "David, I don't ignore the situation, but I choose how I respond to it. I remember that my emotions don't define me. It's not what happens to me that matters, but how I choose to handle what happens. When we react out of anger, we give control to others. But when we choose to pause and reflect, we take back that control." David thought about it for a moment. He had always reacted impulsively, letting his emotions guide his actions. Adam had always remained calm, but David never understood how. Adam continued, "Let me share a story with you. There was a wise king who had many loyal subjects. One day a servant made a mistake, causing the kingdom's crops to spoil. The king's advisors immediately suggested that the servant be punished harshly, but the king, instead of reacting impulsively, chose to think carefully. He called the servant and asked him, 'What happened and how can we fix it?' The servant explained that it was an accident, and the king decided to forgive him, allowing the servant to learn from the mistake and contribute to fixing the damage. The king's calm response not only saved the servant, but it also earned him the respect and loyalty of everyone around him." David's eyes widened. He could see the wisdom in Adam's words. "Remember, David," Adam said gently, "reacting out of anger only creates more problems. But when you choose to respond with calmness and clarity, you make better decisions. You keep your power, and you rise above the noise of the world around you." David realized that Adam was right. He had been letting his emotions control him for so long, and it was time for a change. He thanked Adam for his wise words and decided to let go of his anger and approach the situation with a clear mind. The next day, David faced the person who had insulted him. Instead of reacting in anger, he took a deep breath and calmly explained how the words had hurt him. To his surprise, the other person apologized sincerely. The situation was resolved peacefully, and David realized that by not reacting impulsively, he had gained the respect of others and preserved his own peace of mind. From that day forward, David practiced the power of not reacting. Whenever he felt anger rising inside him, he would take a moment to breathe, reflect, and respond thoughtfully. Over time, he noticed that his life became more peaceful, and he began to attract more positive energy into his world. Moral of the story: the power of not reacting is not about suppressing your emotions or ignoring the world around you. It is about taking control of your responses and not letting external circumstances dictate your peace of mind. By practicing the art of pausing before reacting, we can make wiser decisions, maintain our inner peace, and ultimately live a more fulfilling life. This story teaches a valuable lesson about self-control and mindfulness. By choosing not to react impulsively, we open ourselves up to making better decisions and handling life's challenges with grace and clarity.